evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning into another episode of the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Justin Allen. I'm here with my buddy, Moses Wartooth. And before we get started today, I just want to tell you, don't forget to check the description below where you can find the links to another fucking card game. Another fucking card game is the easiest way to describe it. It's similar to Cards Against Humanity, but it's built around being actually funny and having good shit to say, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And everything works. You're never going to pull a hand and have nothing else to say.
Yeah.
All of the cards actually coincide, and you can actually match up. Pretty much anything you get is going to work with whatever else the topic is.
So, Cards Against Humanity on steroids. Like I said, link in the description. And also, when you purchase that, it goes on to directly support stand-up comedy in rural regions in Texas. And that is fucking cool, man, because we have partnered with none other than the greatest Small Price Productions. Once again, link in the description. These guys host comedy shows all throughout East Texas. And it's the most craziest places you would never imagine. Because most people, when they think of Texas, they think, Houston, Dallas, Austin.
Yeah, they think of yeehaw, cowboy bullshit.
Yeah, but you got 3 or 4 hours between that.
Oh, yeah.
So Dakota Price, who owns and operates it, is actually hosting comedy shows, bringing in big talent to regions in those areas.
Yeah, the smaller cities that would never have the opportunity to see any big name people. It's really, really fucking cool.
But aside from that, since we plugged all our sponsors and everything that we do, I do want to say that you are in store for a great episode today, ladies and gentlemen, because we have none other than the famous Morgan Hyman, dude. Morgan Hyman, he runs a podcast called Breaking Hyman. It's
with a name that good, man. You know it's gonna be funny.
You can't deny it. And the guy is hilarious, and he's out there fighting a good fight. He's from Lubbock, Texas. He is doing stand-up comedy out there. He's promoting shows. He's working for it. Dude, link in the description. Once again, go check out his page, man.
We got a good old East and West Texas link up today. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. It was like the shit when the Crips and the Bloods were at war, and then what was it that happened when they started tying their bandanas together? And shit?
Yeah, they had a lock-in at the rec center and made everything good again.
When they were like, fuck the police, we can deal with this shit, you know? Yeah.
We're doing the exact same thing, but with comedy.
Yes. Dude, we're fighting out there. We're fighting out there in the streets, fighting for our fucking lives. But yeah, you should definitely check out Small Price Productions, another fucking card game, and you should check out the podcast Breaking Hyman with Morgan Hyman. It's great, and I cannot wait. We're going to have him on here in a minute, and it's going to be a good show, guys. And I think you'll be really excited what you see, man. All right, dude, the wonderful and amazing Morgan Hyman, man. Dude, I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while. How have you been, brother?
Good. Really good. No shows this weekend, so I've kind of been sort of relaxing.
Yeah.
But
yeah, dude, I am
busy.
I'm a big fan of what you guys do out there, man, out in Lubbock, man. Dude, the comedy is blowing up in Texas in general across the board.
Yeah.
Now, I know we're out in like East Texas, and you guys are out a little further west.
Yeah, how's the comedy scene in West Texas?
It's great. Lubbock is the biggest as far as the amount of comics, the amount of... Actually, Midland, Odessa may have as many shows as us as far as like open mics and things like that. They've got a monthly open mic / feature or showcase that my friend Jay Austin Graham does monthly. I'm featuring on that one at the end of this month on the 31st.
Nice.
With, can't remember the name of the headliner. Shit.
It's cool, man. He'll never see this. It doesn't matter. But yeah, dude. No, we like it, man. And, before we forget, let us know when we get done with our little interview, man. Plug all your stuff, dude, and we'll put all your links in the description too, dude. Yeah. And for all the viewers watching now, man, go see Morgan and everything he's doing out there, dude. Like it's good shit, man. It's good laughs, dude. 100%. But man, I want to get into it a little bit, man. I want to talk about you.
Okay.
How did you? I mean, just who are you? Like, how did you get into comedy? I mean, how did you get to this point in your life, Morgan?
It's like the typical superhero, got blasted with radiation. It's like divorce. Funny dude, divorce equals, hey, I'm going to try this. And that's usually stand-up comedy. We start a band.
Yeah.
low trans chick. I mean, all of the above.
Take some acid, walk out in the desert.
Yeah, psychedelics, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. All the weird things that a guy does after he gets divorced and never had kids. So I'm going to Europe this summer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so are you going to Europe to travel, or are you going to Europe for comedy?
For both, a little bit.
No shit.
Yeah, I made some connections via my friend Curtis Hines here. He went to Prague 2 summers ago, and there's some comedy happening there. So I've made some contacts. I'm going to try and get on some shows, but also to just travel.
Yeah.
Shit. And then there's also a club in Istanbul, so I'm spending a week in Prague, a week in Istanbul.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do comedy both places.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah,
It's
dude.
English. They do English there.
Yeah. That was going to be my next thing to come in and be like.
Yeah. Rock and roll is better in English. Comedy is better in English. It's just even people that are from Nine. My friend Aaron Barber, another West Texas comic, he's in El Paso. He does like comedy in Japan, Singapore, Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Because we're just worried about, like, occasionally we go to Houston, you know? It's a couple hours down the road.
I haven't gotten to go to do comedy in Houston yet, so.
Dog, I will be honest, Morgan. It is a vicious crowd out there, dude. They got a reputation out there, man.
Yeah. Well, do you guys know Jordan Covarubio?
No, I don't.
He's a guy from Lubbock, but he lives in Houston and does comedy there. He's fucking hilarious. He's like Mexican Gillis, but that's unfair. But that's kind of his entry point into comedy. Young dude, funny as fuck.
All right, man. So you went through some shit in your life, and you were like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm gonna start doing comedy, dude.
That's where all the jokes came from.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, who said it? The difference between a comedy and a tragedy is just time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's an element of truth to it.
It was a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, we're big into conspiracy theories on here, man.
Oh, that's two white comedian guys. That's not surprising.
Right? Yeah, preach, brother. But man, so all right, so let's get to your first set. Your first, I'm assuming, an open mic. You do. How does it go, man?
Not bad.
Yeah.
I've been telling jokes via like event hosting at Alamo Draft House since like 2015.
Yeah.
So 7 years prior to my first open mic, I was like, I already tell jokes. I know how to be funny. I speak in front of people at my job, so it's just something I can do.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it.
I'm a confident person more so now than I was even 3 years ago. So, but I knew I could do that shit.
Yeah, comedy has especially, you know, doing live comedy, like on stage. You know, podcasting's one thing. You know, you're behind a screen or whatever. Yeah. But being on stage in front of a crowd, especially like a drunk crowd or a unruly crowd, that'll test you as a man, you know, or a woman, whatever you choose.
Whatever you claim.
But yeah, man.
Do both of you guys do stand up?
No, Moses does not. I do once in a while as a hobby, but primarily I just podcast.
Okay.
That's what I love. I love just hearing people's stories, man, talk about themselves, like, you know, what makes them tick, man. I love that. But, yeah, stand up, I'll be honest with you, about 3 out of 4 times I eat shit.
That's how it be.
Yeah, and I think it's important to do. It's honestly like almost a weird therapy because it centers you, and it tests your ability to, you know, adapt and accept stressful situations and stuff, you know, and like on the spot changing environments and stuff that most people don't really ever get to experience, you know. So
do you have a role you play? Do you play like, I'm the likable nut, I'm the dumb guy, I'm the heel?
I've actually here recently been leaning more because of podcasting, because we do a lot of political stuff. We'll go on huge rants. And I've actually been leaning towards the aggressive style of comedy. Think Louis Black or Bill Burr style. Like,
oh, shit.
Yeah, which is a hard gamble because that's something you can't sell short.
You're either loved or hated immediately.
Yeah, there's no in between, you know. So I'm working on that, man. But that's kind of the style that I'm going with, man. But what's funny is, like, in my personal life, I'm actually really nice. And like, and that's one thing I've noticed about most comedians. Like, regardless of whatever they say on stage, man, they're actually some of the best people you ever meet.
Oh, yeah. With severe mental health issues.
Yeah.
Lots of autism.
Yeah, the amount of drug and alcohol abuse I've seen is insane. Insane.
Yeah.
And I've only been doing this like 2 years, man. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here, dude?
About 3 here. But yeah, you see a lot. You see a lot, experience a lot. But it's cool. I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, so we got to talk about your podcast, dude. Breaking Hyman. So your name obviously is Morgan Hyman. Your last name is Hyman. And I just want to say the name of that podcast is probably the funniest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's made more than a couple people laugh. and it's, the funny thing is, my dad hated that was his last name. Anytime we got, and it's like, no, bring it on. I want to be the center of attention. So in addition to being the pussy thing, it's also a Jewish last name, so I get to lean into that.
Oh, so are you Jewish? I don't know, man. Like,
my cock is. Yeah. I have jokes about that. I haven't done the 23andMe. It's more likely from Norwegian Hayman. H-A-Y, a dude who raises animals and fence like hay. Yeah. They were very literal in what they did. I don't want to check. I don't want to know. Well, it's funny that you mentioned 23andMe because for Christmas I did one. And it was like a Christmas gift or whatever. And I got the results back, and I'm 1.1% black. Like Congolese, like from the Congo, 1.1%. And, dog, that's the best card you could ever ask for on Christmas, is all I'm saying.
Opens up a lot of opportunities.
I get to use it one time. That's the way I see it. I have consulted with my people. So we have a running joke on the show where I identify as a black man, essentially. Okay. Yeah. Which technically isn't wrong if you want to get down to brass tacks. So where does that line draw? Like,
100 episodes. How many black guests?
None, dude, but we've tried. None. I know, which feeds into the bullshit.
We didn't need a black guest. We have a black host.
Fully 10% of my shows I've had like 4 or 5.
I know. I've seen some of them. I'm like, dude, fuck. Like, I don't know, man. Because, like, every black guy I talk to that likes comedy, likes podcasting, they're all interested. But when it comes down to actually physically showing, this is fucked up. When it comes down to showing up for the job, they're just like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's like, what are you talking about?
Scheduling is hard.
It is. It really is. And what it is, they just really just have personal shit going on in their lives.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And honestly, too, just being friends with black people, they're like, no, I operate on my own time. I will, if it's my idea, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, you can't always count on them to say they'll show up. My friend Josh is that way, and he's Mexican, so it's all the minority.
It's all some Ben and Jerry's 23 flavors bullshit here. Like, it's all of you.
There are whites that are bad with time. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. No, you were good, man. When we were getting this scheduled, you were like on point, man. And a couple minutes, late, and you were like, "Hey, man, this is going on. Like, let me know ahead of time." I was like,
"Yeah, huh. I'm communicative."
Hell yeah, man. But
and I think doing this shit too, being a podcast host, I'm like, I extend the courtesy to like, okay, we're doing this at this time, right?
Yeah. It is a thing, leave people kind of like waiting and shit, and because it is a lot of prep time. I mean, just look at preparing for this episode. It was a lot of stuff involved, just like scratching heads, like, okay, we got a problem here, we got a problem there, or whatever. Got to fix it out, and it's weird because you run the same studio, you have the same shit going on almost every single day, and damn it,
something always changes and fucks up anyway.
It's like a fucking gnome comes in and starts clicking buttons and turning knobs, and then you're like, why does this sound different all of a sudden?
You're dealing with a lot of different pieces.
Yeah. But I love it, man, and I love what you're doing out there, man, out in Lubbock, dude. Dude, you're more than welcome. We hope that you can get on the circuit, and I'll talk about the production company here in a minute, but get on the circuit out here in East Texas, and when you come through, man, we would love to have you in person on the show.
Yeah, Yeah.
And
I'm down.
yeah.
100%, yeah.
And we'll plug it real quick, but it's Dakota Price. He owns and operates Small Price Productions. You can find him on Facebook. The link is in the description. They host comedy shows throughout the rural East Texas region, man. And that's how I've met a lot of people. And so I had this podcast going for several years before I ran into Dakota.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got comedians. I was like, I got a podcast. And it was like that shit in physics they always talk about. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, what happens? We're trying to figure it out still, but it's going good, man. Like it really is. So yeah, dude. Yeah. So is there anything you don't like about comedy out in your region, man? Like what's happening out there in Lubbock, dude? Is there like some trends or something you start to see? Like you're like, what the fuck is this?
There's a lot of, I mean, like every scene, there's always a struggle for power. There's you know, oh, I do the shows here, and it's some bullshit. I think we've settled for the most part here.
Yeah.
There's some people that just don't like to work with other people. That's fine.
Would you say, Morgan, overall that you have an actual like good community out there for comedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think a lot of people are fooled about Austin. Austin's cutthroat. I can't tell you how many comedians I've talked to just going to shows and all this other stuff. Because my media company, like through another company that we invested in, we actually sponsor a lot of these shows that Dakota does.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And, you know, and I've met some of these comedians. They are from Austin. They live there. They work there. They moved there. They did that pilgrimage there. And they're like, man, it is cutthroat. And they're just back on the road. And they're like, I don't even want to be in that city right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's just the industry. They're brought in a ton of people that are just in it for themselves. They don't really care about the community of it. They don't care because I know people that were in Austin 10 years ago and it was the best then.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it's not like Joe Rogan ruined it. He just came in at a time and then it started becoming this other thing with Kill. And I tried to do Kill Tony. I've signed up, you know.
Did you ever get on?
No, never got pulled, but I did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was the New Year's Eve show.
Where'd you hang out at? Did you hang out at Shakespeare's?
No, after the show we did. So it was. They did it from the HEB Center in.
Okay. So you were at like the big show, like not the Madison Square Garden, but you were at the like arena.
Yeah.
Shit.
It was like 8,000.
Dude, were you having a heart attack every time they pulled a name out?
No, it was kind of anticlimactic because they pulled a name and then they passed it down to somebody. They wrote it on a whiteboard. They showed it to where the audience was.
Yeah.
We looked like, nope, that's not mine. And then, because by the time you see your name, you have to go, and it's about 10 minutes till you're on stage. I talked to a few people that did it. So
Really?
It was a big arena, but they had all the comics in one section, unless you already had a ticket, and then you told them where your seats were. But I got in for free. My friend Angel got in for free. Everybody that we're with were sitting in this one section. So
Yeah.
it was cool though. I got to see some famous. Got to see Rogan. Adam Ray came out as Biden.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that. But I gotta tell you, man, I don't know if I could do Kill Tony, man. I mean, I got like, I would say a solid 10-minute set, but man,
Only need one to be good.
1 minute, dude. I'm like, ugh, man. But it's you might be good on that show and you might kill it and send it, whatever you want to call it. But the problem is, can you follow that?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where a lot of people fail, is they can't follow it. Because I think anybody can be funny for a minute. If you really, really try, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But can you do interviews? Can you show up to these places? Can you talk about this? Can you consistently be funny? I think that is a very uncommon thing.
Yeah, like if you're good, your entire life changes, and you have to be ready to go ahead and take that next step and start doing what you have to do.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, we have a guy here in Lubbock. I'm kind of managing him informally. He was on 4 times in LA.
Jesus.
So, yeah, he lives here now. A guy named Chris Heist. I'm trying to get Dakota to book him at Yellow Rose Canyon at some point.
Well, yeah, man.
But I don't know if he fits the demographic because this guy's nutball. So.
Look, I'll tell you something right now.
Like he could be your dad, Moses. He looks like.
Look, man, I'll tell you right now, the Yellow Rose Candy, what Dakota Price is doing with Small Price Productions, link in the description, is amazing. And they have everybody come through. And it's, I mean, they're comedians. It's not just random people. And it is good, man. And it's a secluded area. It's kind of out in the sticks is what I would say.
Right.
But it's a whole huge venue and stuff, and
being out in the sticks is a positive because that opens up the opportunities to do whatever the fuck you want to.
And they don't give a fuck out there in the right way.
Within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
Okay.
And dude, and it's cool because it has this huge venue, and they have this huge outdoor stage as well.
Oh wow.
That they don't even use for the comedy yet. Okay, but where they used to have concerts and stuff like that. And we just actually had a comedian on named Brandon Ryan that works. He's on the team for Small Price Productions.
Okay. Cool.
And he was telling us a couple of weeks ago that their goal that they have is to have a comedy festival in East Texas out there.
Good idea. That's how I met Dakota, was at a comedy festival in early Texas. Last year.
Nice. Yeah, it brings people together. And there's something cool, man, about like just meeting people like revolved around comedy. It's like we all understand it's going to be a good time one way or another, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's I've heard multiple comics say the best thing about being a stand-up comedian is hanging out with other stand-up comedians.
Yeah. It's a great time, dude. It's great. That's what I love about it. That's why I always say I do stand-up as a hobby, is just to hang with people. And then I talk to them, and then because I don't expect my comedy to ever go anywhere. Never expect it to happen.
That's the perfect expectation.
Yeah, it's the most realistic expectation. Like, if you look at it statistically. But like the thing is like that I focus on is like media and podcasting. I like that, right? And so I happen to hang around some of the funniest people in my area. And once in a blue moon, I'm like, hey, you just want to come and talk to me? And they do it, man. And it's gold every single time, man.
That's awesome, man.
You know? Like, even the interview we're doing now, man, like, I enjoy it, you know. I know we're Lubbock versus we're all the way out here in East Texas, man, so it's, you know, a little bit of a distance, but...
and if we succeed, we'll have to homogenous Texas. We want to get these, you know, fucking gold brickers from Oklahoma, you know, get them out of here. No, I love comics from Oklahoma. I have a lot of friends from there, but
sure, it's
funny that Texas has its own kind of comedy scene at this point.
Yeah.
But there's some back and forth between Oklahoma. That we've got some guys in, you know, we don't have many guys in New Mexico.
Yeah, I don't really hear any. I like to think I keep my ear to the grindstone, but I don't hear a lot of buzz coming out of New Mexico.
Maybe Albuquerque. I know literally one comic that lives in New Mexico, a guy named Joe Rodriguez in Las Cruces.
That
Las
poor
Cruces
bastard.
Is right by El Paso. So it's, he doesn't. I met him on a show I did in El Paso last year. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but yeah. So what's the circuit in y'all's area? What cities?
Oh man, so we really right now we're kind of expanding into Lufkin, but it's based out of Nacogdoches, Texas, which is the oldest town in Texas. Yep. And then it's kind of expanding into Mount Enterprise, but they're working with another company that promotes comedy shows out in Shreveport. So really, I think it would be fair to say the Arklatex area.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah, I tried to find comedy when I was in Shreveport a couple of years ago, and I couldn't find it.
It didn't exist, no. I lived there in 2012, 2013, and it didn't exist.
Okay.
There wasn't a single comedy club. There wasn't a single open mic. All it was just like hookers, cocaine, and casinos. And DUIs.
I see no problem. That's where it's congregate. Those are those places.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'll have to look into that because I did an open mic in New Orleans last year. It was fucking. They have some funny comics there. It's just not a comedy city.
Yeah, dude. But Shreveport's starting to grow, man. I'm trying to remember their name. What is it? It's Don't Take This Serious Comedy.
Yeah.
It's a production company. They host shows. So essentially, they don't have a building officially to operate out of. Okay, so what they do is they go around, they find venues, whatever it may be. I mean, you know how open mics can be sometimes, like whatever dive bar will say yes. Yeah. And so they did that, but they worked themselves up, man, and now they're renting out. It's the East Bank Theater in Shreveport. Now it houses only about 120 people, but they're getting some traction.
It's sold out, isn't it?
It's sold out almost every show they do.
That's the size of a decent comedy club.
Yep.
100 seats. Yeah. I mean, that's like the Red Room in Hyenas.
Yeah.
In Fort Worth, it's 80 people.
Yeah. Know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Great room. Yeah. I've friends that have done that room. I haven't gotten to, unfortunately, but I don't do many clubs. I'm mostly bars, breweries, kind of shows.
Is there a reason for that, or you just prefer the bar style better, or
there's no comedy clubs anywhere near.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's none in Lubbock. I've done open mics at Dallas Comedy Club and then the Sunset Strip Comedy Club. Yeah. And that is it, I think, at this point. Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, man, how did you like the Sunset Strip? Because you're talking about the one in Austin, right, that Red Band owns? Yeah. How was that experience, man? Like, how did you just go and write your name on a piece of paper and be like, okay, they just pull you up?
Yeah. It was a Saturday afternoon open mic, so it was just comics. There wasn't really anybody there that wasn't comedians. I ran into a friend of mine that used to do comedy here in Lubbock when he was at Tech. That was cool. Yeah. But I saw people that I didn't recognize from Kill Tony. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it was just, everybody was kind of supportive and fun, but it wasn't like doing a show with a real audience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's fun being around comics and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, the reality is we're all trying to be entertainers to some degree or another, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it was guys doing their reps. Like, I got to do one more open mic. I got to tell these jokes in front of these people, like, just cause. Yeah. It wasn't people from 6th Street weren't coming in and like, ooh, comedy. No one they know. They don't care. Yeah. I've heard Vegas is cool, though, I've got a friend I'm going to try and link up with in October when I'm in Vegas for business. And
hell yeah.
He's like, there are people that they don't want to pay big money to go to, like, the Cellar in Vegas or Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, but they'll go to these bar shows. Yeah. And for $10. And he's like, paying audiences,
Yeah, like, fuck it, I'm gonna drink anyway, so I might as well go drink at a bar that has some comedy going on in the background. You know, and that, to me, that's some of the best comedy I've ever heard in my life has been in those environments. Yeah. Like the dingiest, darkest, like, places you can imagine. It's like, here we are.
They're gonna try out their new shit. They're gonna say some stuff that they may not feel comfortable saying in a more public area, I guess you could say, but you get some potential for some gold out there.
Yeah. If I could go anywhere to do comedy, I'd go to New York City, but it's just unfeasible in my life at this point.
Shit, you're a New York guy, man. Why not LA, dude? Why not Chicago?
I just love New York. I've never been to Chicago before. I saw less than a year before I started doing stand-up, I went to New York City with my ex-wife, and we went to the Cellar. We went to Broadway Comedy Club, and it was just really cool. I'm like, man, I would fucking love to do this. And, less than a year later, I was doing it. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
But, it just, the vibe there was so cool. And I would love to not have to have a car. Like, that's not part of, I could just take a subway anywhere. That sounds liberating to me.
No, it was nice, man. So one thing about Moses and I, we're both veterans, man, and so we both served. Okay. Yeah, we were both in South Korea, and hardly anyone there has cars. Like, it's all mass public transportation. It's buses and subways. So I know, dude, once you experience that life, dog, you're like, why the fuck do I pay for this card? No.
And it's way better than it is even in North America.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Istanbul. My friend Nathan lived there for 7 years. He's like, it's the best public transit. I'm like, yeah, but you're biased. So, but yeah, his wife is Turkish, so he has to say Turkey is better than any other
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Greeks in that way.
Yeah. Oh, well, I always tell people, man, like, you think racism is a problem in America? Go to Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, dude. I mean, I was in Japan. I was in South Korea.
Yeah.
I even traveled through China.
Yeah.
They hate each other. It's like, dude.
Long time.
Yeah, dude. And if you read into their history at all,
Yeah.
they might have some legitimate complaints. It's like on both sides, you know?
Oh, okay, so you remember your World War II history, Nanking? I don't want to say the R word, but the S.A. of Nanking. Is that what we call it? Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a real fucking dumb joke I wrote the other day. I hadn't made it work on stage, but it's like, so I recently got raped by a Mexican while I was writing a term paper. I got essayed by an essay while I was writing an essay. Fucking stupid.
That's a lot to unpack there, Morgan.
It is awesome.
Oh, man. Jesus, dude.
You guys are
Okay.
rich. You're supposed to have dark sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, man, I think that's getting close to the end of
Yeah,
what we can do
we're
for
not
the
going to
show.
pay for the pro version of Zoom, so we're on the time constraint
Yeah,
here.
Zoom's cutting off, man. So we want to give you time, dude, brother. Plug everything you do, everything right now. Where can we find you? Send us the links also, and we'll post it in the description.
Yes, absolutely.
Below.
So I host an open mic every week at Bar PM on every Thursday. I call it Thursday. I have a TikTok. Instagram's Morgan Hyman Comedy, just my first name, last name comedy. Morgan Hyman on Facebook, and West Texas Comedy Collective is how I produce my shows and stuff. And then Breaking Hyman Podcast, and Snake Pit Studios is my the production company that does the podcast. And then Lockjaw Improv Comedy. I'm a part of an improv team. I think that's all my shit.
Fuck yeah, brother. Yeah. If you forget anything, man, just message it, and then we'll post it, man.
Everything will have a link in the description. But
100%, dude.
thanks for talking to us,
Dude, you're great, man. Like, you're great. Let's do it again, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it in person so we can go longer next time.
Yes.
Yeah. 3 hours. We'll put on some tinfoil hats and maybe
Yeah.
smoke a